is CTV News.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. Diageo workers are now out of work, let go 2 days earlier than expected.
I have this suspicion that they didn't want all the press there as the workers are leaving the plant.
Local 200 President John Diageo says as a result, the 100 remaining workers were denied the chance to have a final goodbye, both to their longtime workplace and in many cases, their longtime colleagues. The Crown Royal bottling facility was set to close Saturday, but they were sent home midday today. The union says the workers will be paid their 2.5 days of work. Diageo has not responded to a request for explanation on the early closure move. With the factory now idled for good, Diageo says it's a sad day for the community and Canadian production, but they must move forward as a union.
What we can do now is move forward and try and do what we can for these workers. So, we have a center that they're going to be going to. Some of our workers have been fortunate enough to get into Stellantis and some of the parts facilities, but we still have a lot of work because there's a lot of workers still looking for jobs.
Meantime, in Brampton, council there has rezoned the land where the idled Stellantis factory sits. Last year, as you'll recall, Stellantis paused retooling of the factory to shift Jeep Compass production to Illinois. The factory remains idle to this date with its future uncertain. Today, Brampton Council wants to rezone the factory property so it's designated for automotive assembly or manufacturing. Unifor believes the move will protect the factory's future prospects, and they're calling on other municipal governments to take similar actions. 57 part-time jobs will end April 1st in Windsor because of a dispute between CUPE and the city. City Hall and the union had an agreement to hire temporary part-time rec center attendants. Admin believes they met all the requirements of the contract. The union disagrees. CUPE Local 82 President Rob Collotti says they filed grievances over how vacancies were filled and staffs scheduled, issues that they say were never resolved. The city says the union revoked their agreement, and now the workers will be laid off.
It's shocking to me that they even acknowledged that there was multiple meetings. If everything was going great, we would never have had to meet with them. You typically only ever meet when things are not going well. Things are not being followed. We've had grievance after grievance, and like I said, at this point, they'll be moved to arbitration.
We have new video for you tonight from the U.S. Coast Guard, whose officers rescued 2 local men off an ice floe on Lake St. Clair. As CTV's Stephanie Mazzotti reports, the cost of the rollout will not be borne by Canadian taxpayers.
We're prepared 24/7, 365.
U.S. Aircraft Commander Lieutenant Christina Silva and her co-pilot Lieutenant Connor Riley were 2 of 4 first responders inside this helicopter. They successfully rescued 2 Canadians trapped on the ice in Lake St. Clair off Ross Beach Road in Lakeshore.
Significant day for myself personally.
For Riley, it was his first rescue of his career.
It was cool though, being able to get out there and have a good outcome.
Lakeshore OPP received a call around 2:30 Tuesday for 2 men and a 4-wheeler stranded far from shore. After the ice cracked and they drifted away. The 2 men were airlifted by the U.S. Coast Guard and brought to Windsor's airport for observation by EMS. Neither men were injured.
We're asking another country to come into Canada to save a Canadian. It kind of feeds the narrative that's happening across the border. Is we're not staffed, we're not resourced to do the level of ice rescue, especially for people taking their vehicle out there.
6578, Squawk 1277, we're approximately 10 miles to the east of your airspace.
Harbor Master Peter Barry says it costs around $1,000 per hour for a helicopter. The cost falls on U.S. residents.
Going out there, finding them, recovering them, taking them to the airport, there's a huge cost. And that cost went to the taxpayers of the United States, not to Canada. So we're causing a cost to another country, and we shouldn't be doing that.
But if the ATV ends up submerged, that will cost the driver.
It's a $500 fine, and you could be subject up to $30,000. of which is applied to your federal tax account. And we can also put orders to you to actually go ahead and recover through a licensed company. And you're going to pay a large fee for a barge and divers and others to get your vehicles off there.
Barry's message to the public.
Don't go on the ice this time of year. It's no longer safe. It's moving. It's breaking up. And remember that someone else is going to put their lives at risk to try to save you because you made a bad decision. And that's not fair.
Stay safe, and we'll be out there if you do find yourself in a bind, but help us help you.
Stephanie Mazzotti, CTV News.
We wanted to update you tonight on an ongoing jury murder trial. An American man was injured after a shooting in downtown Windsor in May 2023. 2 men have pleaded not guilty to assault and weapon charges. A jury has been hearing evidence for the last 2 weeks, with Crown closing arguments earlier this week. The 2 defense lawyers were expected to do their closing arguments today, but that has been postponed now until Thursday afternoon. After the judge instructs the jury, deliberations will begin. From Windsor Police tonight, details about how they rearrested a man charged with intimate partner violence after he returned to the victim's home when he was not supposed to be there. Travis Fortnum has that story for us tonight.
Just an hour after being let out of jail, police say a Windsor man convicted of intimate partner violence was back in cuffs. Thanks to a tip, they say that he was headed straight back to the victim's house in violation of a court order.
We made sure step one was to ensure the safety of the victim by removing her from her residence and that she was in a safe place.
Officers watched and waited, their concerns confirmed when the 27-year-old showed up.
We arrested him in the backyard of the residence, so before he was even able to knock on the door.
So why was he released in the first place?
People aren't left in jail forever, so they're going to be released. That's why they are released with probation orders with strict conditions.
This all happened on Monday, and the man's now back in custody, charged with breaching his probation order, a charge investigators say has to be dealt far too often.
We did last year about 450 breaches of probation. That's just in the IPV, intimate violence world.
The power and control that's exercised through somebody who's abusive is stronger than the order not to visit or be on site or within 100 meters, and so they will not follow that restriction.
IPV, an even bigger issue. Despite Windsor Police seeing a 4% drop in related calls last year, the problem remains labeled an epidemic. And advocates say the most dangerous time can be that first hour after an offender is released.
We work on safety plans with women to make sure that they have steps that they can take to maintain their own safety and security. So not being there when he's released or, calling the police when she has reason to believe he'll be on site.
The support is there. It just takes some courage to make that first phone call.
Investigators say their priority is always protecting victims first, and they want people to know help is available through local groups like Hiatus House, Police Victim Services, and the Sexual Assault and Domestic Violence Treatment Center. Travis Fortnum, CTV News.
Advance warning tonight to people who live near the Bamwell and EC Row construction project. Windsor is allowing the construction to continue later into the night and earlier in the morning. It's for the installation of concrete girders needed for the overpass structure. The noise bylaw exemption will either be for the week of March 16th or the week of the 23rd. The CAO can also now grant noise bylaw exemptions for the duration of the project. It's costing $110 million to expand, and it's expected to be done by 2027. Meantime, in Amherstburg, Council is spending $1 million on Centennial Park. The Victoria Street South Park will get 2 new tennis courts, 2 basketball courts, and an 800-meter walking trail with benches and trees. Council had previously set aside $530,000 for upgrades. The remaining money was allocated during budget deliberations. CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald has your full weather details coming up in 2 minutes' time. And still ahead, how Ontario researchers are tackling algae blooms in an effort to repurpose them. CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald joins me now with details of a fluctuating weather forecast.
Yes, temperatures are going to be up and down for the next several days. Very warm by Friday, and then Monday, Tuesday, really starting to feel the chill again. Today was, relatively speaking, mild from a statistical standpoint, but it didn't feel that way. Just for a very, well, I'd say short window of time. We were in the pluses this afternoon. Interesting mix in that we were very cold, windy. The wind started to die down this evening, and then we saw signs with at least some imagery that we could see some snow again moving across the region. You can get a good sense of the sweep of cold air, snow right across the Great Lakes with lake enhancement, and the worst of it stayed to the north and east of us. I think we're sunny to start very early for the morning rush hour, then increasing cloudiness by the early afternoon. There's a slight risk of some rain, maybe some isolated flurries, the mixture of the two in the next 24 to 48 hours, and that would only be a light dusting if we see it at all. Most of the snow from this graphic, as you can see in the Grey Bruce region, Georgian Bay hit hard, eastern and northeastern shores, and further inland along the Huron's eastern side. The temperatures do take a nosedive tonight. That's not wind chill. That's core temperatures down to about -11, technically tomorrow morning, I should say, feeling like about -15 to -17. So it's cold, and I know what it's like to work shift work from, say, 2 or 3 in the morning till about 9 or 10, and you got to be prepared for that. Extra layers tomorrow morning for those headed to work or school during the 8 o'clock hour. It's sunny, though. -10 feels like -13 to about -15 between Windsor, Essex, Chatham, Kent. By noon, still sunny. -3 feels like -9. And the winds picking up, southwesterly sustained at 20 with higher gusts in the 30s. We'll reach +2, I'd say, in the 4 o'clock hour. Increasing cloudiness through the night and rain showers, maybe even some wet snow mixed in for early Friday morning. A high of 10 in the afternoon, believe it or not. 6 degrees and lovely Saturday with sunshine, then just colder Sunday with some snow possible in the morning, -2, then -1 fair on Monday, +3 for both Tuesday and Wednesday. We'll go from showers Tuesday to a midweek sunny day 7 days from now. That's a look at your 7-day forecast. Michelle?
Thanks, Gary. In the wake of the State of the Union address and a fresh wave of tariffs, the Trump administration is signaling any future deal with Canada will include tariffs. CTV's Mike Lecouture reports from Ottawa.
The State of the Union address? Prime Minister Mark Carney says he didn't watch the State of the Union address, but there are impacts for Canada. President Trump made it clear tariffs are a key plank in his economic plan for the U.S.
The view of the American administration is that there'll be a price to access the American market. I think, every country of the world that I know of is paying a price. What I'm saying is that Canada is paying the lowest price.
But that price could be paid in jobs. The U.S. Trade Representative today making it clear this is about moving manufacturing back to America.
We really want to focus on reshoring here. We want to have production here. We don't necessarily want to be dependent on China, Canada, or anybody else for things like cars and that kind of thing.
The U.S. has 50% levies on steel and aluminum going into their country and 25% tariffs on autos. It's why the Canadian government is trying to diversify trade away from our American neighbors.
GM and Stellantis have been cutting jobs here in Canada. Well, we will look towards Koreans, we will look towards Germans, and we will look towards Chinese investments.
While looking for other trading partners, Canada continues to work on saving the trade deal with the U.S. and Mexico.
The Canadians, I was in contact with my counterpart just this morning. He's going to come to town in a couple weeks. They have a few ideas on how they might want to have a deal with us. We're obviously open to that.
By comparison, Dominic LeBlanc's office was far less committal. In a statement, a spokesperson for the minister responsible for Canada-U.S. trade would only say LeBlanc and Greer had a number of brief, informal exchanges in recent days about a potential in-person meeting in Washington, D.C. in the near future. Mike Lecouteur, CTV News, Ottawa.
Canada has decided to allow the latest American-made Gulfstream jets to fly in this country following a threat by Donald Trump. Federal regulators have certified 2 models of Gulfstream's private planes, roughly a week after approving 2 older models. Last month, the U.S. president threatened to ground and slap tariffs on Bombardier planes and any other Canadian-made aircraft if Ottawa did not certify the Gulfstream jets. Well, we don't have to tell you how this wicked Canadian weather is taking a toll on highways and streets, creating potholes and bursting pipes. CTV's Adrian Goldbriel looks into how a bad winter of snow and bitter cold is affecting infrastructure.
Traversing roadways while dodging crumbling Canadian infrastructure can feel like a winter sport unto its own, with costly consequences. CAA reports its members in Ontario and Manitoba are forking over an average of $900 a pop out of pocket each time their vehicle is damaged by a pothole.
There's an additional cost that consumers bear or taxpayers bear when they suffer vehicle damage as a result of the infrastructure and the impact of our climate on the infrastructure.
It was on this side, and we went totally kaputso.
Georgia Nevinson's front tire was a casualty of a roadside crater.
Thankfully, my rim was fine. Otherwise, I would have had to fix those.
There's a real financial impact for Canadians.
There is. Do I now have to put in pothole insurance into my monthly budget?
Since January 1st, Toronto has repaired just over 23,000 potholes. By this time last year, the city had already filled 10,000 more. Year to date in 2024, road crews had patched up more than double this year's total. Toronto's Transportation Department says it's behind because crews have been too busy with snow removal operations. In Atlantic, Canada, Nova Scotia music legend Anne Murray recently took to social media, writing, "I'm going to get some sand for my car so I can start filling the potholes in the streets of Halifax." From burst water mains in Alberta to car-crushing craters, the cost of extreme winter weather is pushing rates even higher, according to the Insurance Bureau of Canada.
You need provincial governments, you need the federal government to really step up with funding for infrastructure that is more resilient to severe weather events.
This year in Toronto, they've nearly doubled the snowfall totals, and with more now falling, and with potholes that you can actually stand in, it's a safe bet that they will surpass last year's $153 million winter maintenance budget. Adrian Goldbriel, CTV News, Toronto.
Canada's main stock index was up today, helped by strength in the financial and technology sectors. The TSX gained 157 points. In New York, the Dow added 308. The Nasdaq is up 288. The Canadian dollar gained more than 1/10 cent, and on commodity markets, gold added almost $50 an ounce. Oil lost 21 cents a barrel.
Start your day with the latest local news. By signing up for our newsletter, you'll get direct local content straight from CTV Windsor to your inbox, including top stories, the forecast, and videos. You can sign up at ctvnewswindsor.ca.
On Wednesdays, our Bob Belichico takes us on the sidelines. Here are some of this week's highlights.
Davis down to 4. Davis to the hole. Yes! Latin Davis with a teardrop, and they're going to put time back on the clock.
The Windsor Express hosted the Clash at the Coliseum last night. Windsor went into the contest against Sudbury on a 6-game winning streak. Make that 7. Windsor won 121-120. They are, however, stuck in 4th place because Montreal is also on a winning streak. The two will meet this weekend. Attendance at last night's game could have been better, but Express CEO Dardis Willis is undeterred.
I'm already considering doing it again, but I just want to see how everybody else feels. Caesars, WFCU, believe it or not, they give us an opportunity to take one game out. So I'm interested in doing it again. I'm interested still in finding a way that we have a place to play like this. So it's always, you know, a highlight.
Excitement in high school sports as Kennedy hosted the SWASA AA Championship last night at the Clipper Dome against Chatham's John McGregor. Not even close. The Clippers blew out the visitors 100-35. Kennedy is now heading to Pembroke, Ontario for the OFSA Championships on March 9th.
We laid it all out today, we gave everything our all, and I think the scoreboard reflected that. And I think now the next step for us is just, get ready for OFSA and, prepare for the next step, because I think the outcome of OFSA is going to be the same as what we've seen here today, I think it's going to be, everyone should just stay tuned and, keep watching, because Kennedy is coming.
Bob warned this game was going to be interesting, and it did not disappoint. The St. Clair Saints basketball team beat St. Lawrence 130-66. Here's the fun part. Because the top-seeded Georgian Grizzlies were knocked out in the East last weekend, St. Clair College now has a chance to host the OCAA Final Four. All they have to do is beat the Sting Saturday afternoon at the Sportsplex.
We were not expecting for Georgian to lose at all, and when they did, we were very happy. We still got to take care of business, of course, but that's a huge relief. 'Cause I didn't want to play in that gym. I didn't really like how it looked, to be honest. But our gym, I feel like we have a lot more confidence. Even though we would have been on the road, same thing, we would have had our confidence, but it definitely helps having a home crowd with some local guys as well.
And finally, tonight, if you're looking for something fun to do this weekend, the LaSalle Vipers are hosting a Hockey Hall of Fame trophy exhibit. It runs from 1 to 7 in the afternoon at the Vollmer Complex. The Vipers are dedicating the day to 8-year-old Cullen Flood, who continues his fight with leukemia. All exhibit proceeds will be passed along to the family.
Real hockey fan, and just trying to help the family out as best as we can. Tough times for them, and currently right now he's in remission, but still going through chemo and other treatments, and traveling quite a bit, and still trying to be amongst his friends and his hockey team.
For Bob's entire sports segment, go to our website, ctvnewswindsor.ca, and scroll down to On the Sidelines.
Discussion here at Windsor City Hall.
Windsor's top stories.
A major project is about to get underway.
Breaking news alerts.
Severe weather is a possibility.
And watch live.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Download the CTV News app.
Researchers at an Ontario university are attracting international attention for their work on algae. With more on the project and its potential, here's CTV's Jerry Dewan.
Diatoms are single-cell microalgae found in lakes, seas, and oceans around the world, accounting for an estimated 20 to 50% of the world's oxygen.
They convert a lot of carbon dioxide in oxygen, so they are great for all of us. They also are one of the primary foods for a lot of organisms.
Where Professor Bokomil Karish saw real potential was for diatoms to be genetically coded to create a wide range of products.
We are really truly hoping that very soon we're going to be using those diatoms as our factories for producing many products, from fuel to protein, to vitamins, etc.
The challenge is that diatoms have a protective silica shell. It makes them resilient in nature, but also made it difficult to deliver DNA to create the new products. The breakthrough came when then student and PhD candidate Emma Walker recognized that the shell on older diatoms was easier to strip away. She then set to work to create a chemical process to recreate that phenomenon. It opened the door to testing a broad spectrum of DNA coding options.
In the past, maybe we could test 10 combinations, 20. But right now, with this method, we can test thousands in a fraction of the time. So by being able to go to such a high throughput, we are going to try to driven the cost of making all this product to the point that they are way cheaper than the existing methods.
In the case of fossil fuels, we know it's a finite resource. At some point, we're going to run out of oil in the ground. Still, as a society, we rely on fuel, and we'll have to find alternate ways of producing it. Karish says it will also reduce the environmental impact, especially when it comes to carbon emissions.
This algae essentially just needs, sunlight and seawater to create all these products. It also removes carbon dioxide and produces oxygen. So we have so many more benefits, and the carbon footprint is not even comparable.
Karish says the DNA delivery breakthroughs have the world taking notice.
Many collaborators are coming to work with us from different countries, and we actually created a consortium that right now have almost 60 scientists that we meet twice a year to discuss how actually to use the tools right now that we discover.
Jerry Dewan, CTV News.
If you noticed a lot of pink around town today, it's with good reason.
The first perspective that we got to challenge is this idea that snitches get stitches, because that concept continued to keep a group of students quiet while their colleagues are being physically and verbally abused and nobody's doing anything about it.
Pink Shirt Day is an annual anti-bullying campaign. It was first organized by students in Nova Scotia back in 2007, supporting a boy who was bullied for wearing pink. It's now recognized across the country and in New Zealand. Organizers say they've raised more than $3 million for anti-bullying initiatives since 2008. CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald joins me one last time with his overnight forecast. Hi, Gary.
Hi, Michelle. Overnight cold, and I think we're down to about -10, -11, feeling like -15, and even the early morning at 8, 9 a.m. for your Thursday. Although sunny, it is chilly. Expect temperatures about -10, feeling like the mid-teens. And then we'll see increasing cloudiness, which leads into a mild, cloudy, and potentially rainy, even a mixture of rain and wet snow. Friday, look at that surge in temperatures. 10 degrees above the freezing mark, well above seasonal, still above the seasonal mark. Saturday, sunny, beautiful, and then just cold. Sunday, Monday, flurries a possibility, and then rain as we warm up a bit and more seasonal towards the middle of next week.
2 California sea lions from Ontario have a new home on the West Coast. The 18-year-old females, Holly and Maui, have arrived at the Vancouver Aquarium after being transferred from Marineland in Niagara Falls. The aquarium says the sea lions are now acclimating to the separate pool in the BC Wild Coast Outdoor Gallery while staff monitor their health and behavior. They'll be introduced later to Señor Cinco, the aquarium's resident male sea lion, once staff determine the timing is right. Meantime, the Toronto Zoo is celebrating the birth of an endangered Maasai giraffe. The female calf was born Sunday morning and was standing within a half an hour. Zoo officials say the mother and calf are doing well and have been left to bond. They also say it took on greater significance following the unexpected death of the calf's father, Kiko, last month. Well, that's it for us. Thank you for watching You Bet Giraffe. I'll be back here tomorrow with another edition of CTV News Windsor. Good night.